Okay, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers, your background and growing up?
Yes, my name is Chief Ambassador Dr. Afam Chukwuma, a Knight of St. Christopher. I I grew up in Anambra State, precisely in Onisha, where I had my early days schooling, nursery, primary, secondary, before proceeding to the prestigious Namda Zikiwe University, Oka, where I did my first degree. Before I moved to Lagos to do my second degree in University of Lagos, Akoka. Of course, I had some other certifications outside Nigeria, specifically exports, import school at Dunlap Soap University, Arizona, United States. But this is basically how I started my early days, and we've been where we are today by the grace of God.
Okay. Can you share the story behind your name, Owetonyora?
Well, Owetonyora dates back in school and my university days, then simply Oweta. Any of my peer, anyone who met me in school would always call me Oweta, and because I was very popular in school, by the way, so I was very active politically, administratively, those students who were very close to the vice chancellor and the school management and also to the students themselves. I was so active that I all contested for the student government president, even though I came the runners up, but things happened and didn't work out. And but all in all, I was very active from my first year in school till I left school. My name was a household name in school, so the name Oweta became popular because then we were Nigeria was about to return to democracy, and we all were happy to have democracy come back to Nigeria. And when it came, Obasanjo was released from the prison and all that while we were in school, and he became the president, in 1999 when we were about to leave school. Then the name Oweta meant represented my attitude, my character, because I believed in representing the people and then bringing what was supposed to be due to them. I believe in being out there for the people, and I believe in returning to them what belonged to them. So the name Oweta meant the man that brings. That was the initial Oweta, simple. The man that brings. So everybody rallied around me and asked me to go and represent them because we would make some all of these student union representations. When it was time for people to appreciate the students, they didn't trust much people. The students trusted me and said, Afam should collect it for us. So from there they started calling me Oweta, Jeweti, and then no water. And because they trusted that if I get it, it will get to the anticipated destination. So that was how the name started. And before you knew it, it became a household name all over in school. So eventually, when we left school, the name people who knew me continued to call me that name. And by the way, I also fell in love with the name.
Looking back at your university days, what early leadership experiences shaped the man you are today?
Well, I I have been an active person in leadership. Should I say from birth or from my early days, even before university days? In the secondary school, it was the same thing. When you in the class, in the senior class, I remember being the games prefect, the senior prefect. I've never been in a class without being asked to be the class monitor or being assigned one role or the other. I don't know how it happens. Usually, I don't ask for it, but I just noticed that anywhere I find myself, any organization, any place I go, they always like to assign me one leadership role or the other, even when it is not convenient for me. Even when I'm saying no, they take offense that I am doing shakara for them, that I must do it. Because I don't know what they have seen, but I just believe it's a factory fitted quality in me, and I get to let her appreciate that and let her begin to work around it. So in the university days, even my first year, I was the a senator representing the entire one constituency in the university parliament, the student parliament. In the second year, I think I became the chief press secretary to the president of the senate of the school. In third year, I was the director of transport and the chairman of transport committee. And then from there, I contested for the president of the student union government, even though that didn't come true. But the final year, you're not expected to uh, contest for anything since you're going to graduate the next day. So, as I didn't win that election, which I would have been the president by my final year, I just went background and started playing an advisory role for the president. Of course, we later had problems, and the SUG was even disbanded by the new VC that came after that. So, leadership has been part of me from childhood.
Being conferred with the Ozot chieftaincy title is a great honor. What did that recognition mean to you personally and culturally?
I always see myself as a Pan Africanist. I believe in Africa. I believe in my originality. I'm a core Igbo man, and I believe in what makes us proud as Igbo people. So you see that each time I talk to myself, or I refer myself, or I describe myself, I first of all bring that Igbo identity or the African identity into my name. I have several titles that people, affixes that people can put. They want to address me. Some choose to call it professionally because of the academics. Some want to say Dr. Afam Chukwuma. Some in the church, I'm also a Knight of St. Christopher. You can some call me Sir Afam Chukwuma. Being a diplomat by the United Nations Advocacy Group, I'm an ambassador of peace. Some call me ambassador, but I don't joke with the chief aspect of my name, because if I had to choose, if I have to write one at every point, it has to be that chief. Because first of all, I am from Africa. I am from Nigeria. I am from Anambra State. I'm an Igbo man, and I'm so much proud of that, because I defend everything Africa. I believe in the culture, in the tradition, in myself that come from this part of the world. So it's a good thing for me. It's a thing of joy for me. It gives me pride each time I visit my village. I sit with my people. I discuss with them, and they're happy to see me. Come around anytime I had to travel to the village. It's a thing of joy to me, coming from that part of the world.
You are widely regarded as a mentor to many young professionals. What drives your passion for mentoring and empowerment?
You see, what is leadership without successors? And what is success as a leader without grooming people who can take over the space? I understand that life is transient, and I understand that what you have is not really worth it until you're able to impact it in others. So, young freight forwarders who I have passion to grow, I came into that industry, and I found out that there is this big gap in the industry, and the gap is the gap of honesty and the gap of professionalism. People regarded freight forwarders in Nigeria as, do I say, touts, roadside agents, an unstructured and unorganized profession. But because I have interacted with colleagues in other countries of the world, and I see and I know how they run this same business that we run here. So we took it upon ourselves to begin to professionalize this industry, to begin to do things the right way, at least to an extent, as much as the Nigerian environment can accommodate, with the necessary joltering in the system. And so I began to recruit and train young freight forwarders. And what I tell them first is you must go through an import-export academy, because I did that also. Like I said earlier, I am a graduate of Export Import Institute of Dunlop University, Arizona, United States. So where you are taught everything about international trade logistics. So these young freight forwarders, I told them, don't be like those who jump into the industry just because they could not make it in their trading, or they just come from village and you jump into clearing and all you know is how to give money and how to take goods. You don't even know your left from your right. You don't know when you are right or wrong. You don't know the rules of classification. You don't know the rules of valuation. You don't know anything about the books, about the law, about the policies. You just know that you take money, you give money, and that's all. That's not it. So I made it a point of duty that I never, in my own company, I never employed anybody who was already in the industry. So many staff. Some are on salary, some are not on salary, some are on commission basis. But I made it a rule that for you to work with me, apart from the admin staff, especially for the operation guys, I pick them from outside the industry and I train them my own way. And I tell you, so many of them today are grateful. We have what looks like a family. We are bonded, and even those who have left the company and now, have their own companies, they are grateful because they know they went under the best tutelage they could have in the industry.
Professionally, you have built a strong reputation in global logistics. What inspired your journey into the freight forwarding and supply chain industry?
You see, it is understanding your talent, understanding who you are. If anyone exists without examining his life, according to Socrates, he said that an unexamined life is not worth living. Even my children, when I talk to them, when I counsel and train them, I tell them, look, out of what I can do for you as your parent, it's not just to send you to school, it's not just to pay your bills, but also to help you identify your God-given talent. Because it is in you following this line that you can easily succeed. So I discovered my own talent. And what is my talent? My talent is simplifying complexities. When things look complex, when things look difficult, when people look at things and see mountains, I look at it, yes, I see that mountain, but I'm seeing steps how to get to that mountain. And it looks so easy. And I begin to climb it and I get it done. When I look at that complex web, I am seeing ropes, I'm seeing knots, I'm seeing edges where the spanners can tie it, and then we dismantle the web. So organizing, which is logistics now, and getting things done in real time is part of me. It's my life. It's my passion. It's things I like to do. So when someone asks me, can you do this? Can you do that? I can multitask. It's natural. I can handle 4 or 5 things at the same time, and everyone is moving, as long as I want to do it. So that is me. So it's something that comes from the inside. It's something that naturally I love to do. It's my talent, and I find fun in organizing things.
As the CEO of International Supply Chain System Limited, ISCS Limited, what core values have guided the company's growth and success?
reliability, speedy delivery, and the competitive rates. When I say reliability, it also has to do with honesty. Like I said earlier, I came into the industry. I found out that truth, honesty, is a very scarce commodity. And I said to bridge that gap. Do you know that we have clients that before their ships arrive, they want to pay money to us? I will say no. Okay, keep your money. Allow the vessel to come. They will say no, we are going to use this money for something else. I said, well, it's your goods. You get your goods. They will say, if I will know you, they will pay the money into our account. I said, okay, you don't want to spend the money, you want to push it to us. What if we spend it? He said, no problem. That they know we cannot, if you like spend it, just give me my goods. I will trust you, we know what you can do. You know, you're a man of integrity. You know, you must do the right thing. So if you spend it, it's your business, but give us our goods. That's all we care. So that's to show you the level of trust we have, deposited in people's minds about our company. So that reliability is there. And then we notice that because of business competition in the industry, you need to apply speedy delivery. Two things customers want. Customers want to get their cargoes or their logistic movement delivered within a record time, shorter time precisely. And then the last thing, they want it to be done at a good rate, competitive rate, lower rate, if I should ask. So if you could deliver in good time and your rates are lower, even if not lower, but let it be within the competitive range, the sky is your limit. And then coupled with honesty. And these have been our it's not rocket science. It's not easy to maintain. Maybe if we have been duping people, taking people's money and not getting their cargoes done, if we have been involved in the kind of people that gave the industry bad names, perhaps we would have made much money. I don't know. But I don't know how they sleep when they do that. I don't know how they do it. Someone entrusts you with cargo worth millions, times hundreds of millions, some billions, and then you play pranks with it, you play jokes with it. Some of these goods were financed by loans from the bank. People have deposited their hard-earned properties and savings to secure business transactions, and they hand these things over to you, and then you begin to play hanky-panky with such things. How do you sleep? How do they do such things? So when we understand the sensitive nature, the depth and the size of these transactions, we say no, we have to handle people's trust with care. For me, it's a matter of life and death, because any man you mess such things up, a man can die, and before he dies, he must make sure someone goes with him, because he can't just fold his arms and watch you. It's risky. You don't do that.
The logistics industry in Nigeria can be quite complex, like you said. What have been your biggest challenges and how have you been able to navigate them?
Well, there are no particular biggest challenges, because it's a routine. Nigeria is a very difficult place to do business. And if you can survive Nigeria, you can do business anywhere and you can be a champion. In the freight forwarding industry, by the grace of God, we are among the top. I'm not saying we are the richest or we are the best, but when you count the top guys, you count ISCS Limited, International Supply Chain Systems. So we're doing well, to the glory of God, and the challenges are enormous, ranging from drivers' attitude to corruption in the system, institutionalized corruption that you need to navigate around, because you want to be compliant. The man who is supposed to enforce the law is the one who is frustrating you from complying with the law because it's just his own personal benefit. But you have to also be able to manage him so that you could get your cargo delivered. Because when you don't deliver those things, some customers will still not understand that you are trying to be compliant with the procedures. So you have to balance these things with diplomacy, and then at times find other means of pacifying them without necessarily, be on the wrong side of the law. So challenges, they're always there. Congestion on the port road, corruption, uh, malfunctioning of epileptic ICT system, the servers, the softwares of the government agencies going down every now and then. So you cannot really calculate. You want to do this delivery within 5 days or 4 days. External factors beyond your control crop up, and 10 days you are still struggling. 2 weeks you are still struggling, and you need to explain to the customer. And the deliveries are growing. Someone has to pay. These are things we see, but any experienced stakeholder in the import-export corridor, whether you are an importer or exporter or anything, understand that the system can be. So because they believe us, because they have confidence in our integrity level and our honesty, it's easy to manage them because they can also verify it and they see it is true. But they know once things are all right, we are always on top of it. We are doing our best. Even within those challenging circumstances, we also, deploying means of getting things done.
Having served in leadership roles within NAGAF and contributed to national policy discussions, how do you assess the current state of Nigeria's port and logistics sector?
Nigerian port is not isolated from the Nigerian economy generally or Nigerian space. The port is a subset of the economy of the country. So if you think Nigeria has made progress, then the port system has also made progress. If you think Nigeria has not made progress as a nation, then the port system has not made progress. However, I must quickly point out one or two things. Let me be just divert a bit and be specific with let me say Nigerian Customs Service, for instance. They have really made very significant improvements, especially on the area of ICT deployment, ICT infrastructure. In fact, I think that the best government agency when it comes to use of ICT, perhaps apart from maybe DSS, who are into tracking and intelligence gathering. But Nigerian Customs Service has really deployed wide ranging ICT infrastructure. For instance, they have moved from Asekuda. In those days, you have to build, for you to be able to capture in your own office, you have to build a mast. You have to install a mast, the network mast. You install a mast, put radios, Wi-Fi's for you to be able to capture in your office, which we have always had in our own office, by the way, until the Asekuda. Then they moved us to Asekuda Plus Plus, to when we had NICES, when we went to the internet. Now you don't need mass. You have to just have your laptop, internet, and all that. And today to the Biodogu that we have, and of course we are looking at the new federal government policy on national single window, which is going to come up on the 27th of March. That's about next week, 7 days time, or that about next week, and that will take care of integrating, providing a unified platform for digital processes for all government agencies within the port system and the import-export corridor.
Let's talk about the OKTT Renaissance Forum. What inspired its creation and what vision drives the initiative?
OKTT Renaissance Forum came to be as a result of the need to take back our town. If you're an Igbo man and if you lived in the 70s and the 80s, or if your father told you about communities, you know that there is no Igbo man who didn't know Oketiti in the 70s, in the 80s, even in the 90s. Because we had men who loved the town so much. We had men who were ready to give the town. We had men who made it, who were in the forefront of Igbo classical businessmen. We dominated some sections of markets like bicycle parts, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, production, manufacturing. We had names, but at the time, those things left us. Because then we had so much love for ourselves. We were taking ourselves along. If you are up there, you take your younger brother, or your cousin, or your neighbor, show him the way, train him, mentor him. And then when he grows and establishes his own, you also take some other persons. But at the time, those things began to dwindle. We lost it. And then when the older people began to go, the gap became a reality. So it became so much that the town went back that we began to even lack some basic infrastructure. We had to wait for government, except one or two people who were still doing. So the ARF, that is OK Elegance Forum, came together with a single motive, single mission to restore and to sustain the glory of Oketiti. Nothing else. To restore and sustain the glory of Oketiti. So we called back all the who is who in Oketiti. We don't like to use the word elites, but we would say illustrious sons of Oketiti, sons and daughters. We have people, Nigeria, America, Europe, wherever, Asia. So long as you are a bona fide son and daughter of Oketiti, you are qualified. And we put a price tag that is quite high so that we are sure we are dealing with the class of people we need to be there, because better soup, say, money kill 'em, Yeah.
The project Light Up Oketiti initiative has been widely applauded. What impact has it had on the community so far?
The project Light Up Oketiti is synonymous with security. We embarked into that project because it was the first thing that we needed to do towards the mission and vision of restoring the glory of Oketiti. We needed to get our people, especially the ones in the upper class, to have the confidence to come back to the town. Because there was this insecurity issue in the southeast, not peculiar to Oketiti. Then many communities in the southeast, Anambra, Imo, Anambra, we are surrounded, like our name suggests, Oketiti. That is center. We are in the center. We have boundary with our 7 communities: Ichida, Nobi, Newi, Amici, Azigbo, Nokwa. I think there are more. So we had this insecurity here and there. And our people were not coming home anymore. Then we started, what can we do? What can we do? And we said, okay, if we can do something such that all we need to tell our people is, come back to Oketiti and you are secured. All you need to do for us is, anywhere you go outside Oketiti, make sure it is not dark before you come back. Make sure the day is still bright and you enter the town. 6 p.m., 6:30, 7 marks, you're in the town and you're good. So we now called ourselves, deploy our finances, had discussions with reps of the state government on security matters, brought some gadgets, brought some equipment, patrol vehicles, and all that. And so employed some personnel and they started getting the town. Mounted CCTV cameras everywhere, put street lights almost all over the town. That in the night now, okay, it is like a day. In the market, they could play in the stadium. They would play football in the night. In the market, they could train in the night. Nightlife came back, and the security system was, it's up to now. It's ongoing. It's there. So that was the first thing we tackled because we needed people to come back for us to be able to, for them to have the confidence that, oh, this project is real. So that is what we did under Project Light Up KTT, which is a phase one. Before we entered the phase two, we started last year, which is now we are building a hospital. Anambra State government has given us a dental hospital, so we are building it. As I'm talking to you now, as of today, in fact, I spoke with the project manager this morning, and he said that we are 95% complete. The target is that by Easter would have been done, and we now hope on His Excellency the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, to give us a date for commissioning of the project. That's the phase two. We've done the light up since a year or two ago, and then we started this one sometime last year, and we're 95% complete. Massive infrastructure. You can't understand it until you get there. In fact, it was supposed to be a dental clinic. By the time the Commissioner for Health came there, after looking at the facilities with the State Health Management Board, they said, no, this cannot just be for a dental clinic. Right there, they renamed it Anambra State Specialist Dental and Comprehensive Healthcare Center, or KTT. Took it to the governor, and the governor approved it. And that's where we are today, to the glory of God.
Balancing a thriving business and impactful community service is no small feat. How do you manage both responsibilities effectively?
I don't even know how I manage it. I just know that I can manage multiple things. I have my diary. That's why some of my friends who don't understand me think that I am rigid. I am not. It's just that before the day breaks, I already know what I want to do for the next day. So when you choke in your own program, you call me on an emergency, except it is a rare emergency, you hardly can get me because I already have my programs for the day. Because I am multitasking. I need to balance things out. I've assigned roles to my team in the office. My personal secretary is always corresponding with me. Every night she reads my roster for the next day for me. And the one I will have to move, send my driver, the one I will go together, the one, my family, thank God for the loving wife that I have. She's supportive, taking care of the home front, at least holding it when I'm not there. And that's how it's been.
Can you tell us about your foundation and what it stands for?
My personal foundation is known as Sir Afam Chukwuma Hope Foundation. SACOF. I established this foundation as far back as I think 2015 or 14, maybe like 12 years ago or 11 years ago, thereabout. I'm not sure, but within that range. And the idea was giving back to the society. Like the first question you asked me, Oweta, who is Oweta? Yeah. Up to today, I still practice it. Anytime we do financial reconciliation in the office, I take a certain percentage of the profit. If we have profit, I put it into the foundation's account. This is how I give back to society. This is how I give back to my creator. This is how I appreciate God. And this is how I help humanity in my little way. For instance, we have about 15 students in our scholarship, higher institutions, that until once after secondary school, we go to secondary schools in our communities and we discuss with the principal who are the best students, brilliant students in this school who would not proceed with education unless they have support. And the target would be children from the poorest of the poor family. We send them to school and we train them from first year till final year until they come out of youth service. And when they enter youth service and start earning alawi, that's when we withdraw. So we can go and face other people. You know. So we've been doing that now for about 7 years. We have had about 7 or 8 or 9 graduated. I need to check the record. Others are still there, and some will still enter this year. We have provision for 5 this year. You know, that's in the jam. The handlers of the foundation are working on it. Then we also built a physics laboratory, fully equipped, and donated to St. Mary's Model College, or KTT. Where I'm member of the board of directors of the school. Also, we have also set up some businesses. People learn skills. Like we had 2 boys who learn how to do mechanics. Bought tools for them. Then the other guy, there are supposed to be 5 of them. I need to check all these records. The other guy learned plumbing. Plumbing work. We bought him tools. And all that. This guy, the lady that we bought machines for sewing. Yeah, and the guy who bought motorcycle for Okada and Marwa, what do you call it, Korobe, for. We just do this our own little way just to support the society, support people, leave people out of poverty a little where we can. If we have much more, why not? We can do much more. But we are believing God as businesses grow, we can do much more. But the target of the foundation is to touch lives. Like you can see, it is a hope foundation, meaning giving hope to the hopeless.
So, what core values have remained constant in your journey from student leader to business icon?
Integrity. Good name is better than riches. I didn't say riches are not good. Riches are fantastic. Riches are extremely necessary. Riches are very important. But not to the extent of spoiling your name, in so much so that the riches does not have integrity. So that integrity is a core value. It's my guide. Maybe the family where I was raised, maybe the value that were instilled in me by my parents, but I appreciate and I know that I cannot trade my integrity for anything.
What advice would you give to young Nigerians aspiring to build successful careers in logistics, business, or leadership?
They must keep focus. They must remain resolute. They must know what they want. And above all, especially in Nigeria, they must be strong. Nigeria is a place that if you are not strong, when I say strong, it's not by weightlifting. Mental strength, psychological prowess, ability to move even when there are roadblocks. Because Nigeria will frustrate you, you're not careful. But you must have the never die spirit. You must have the I can do spirit. You must be able to say against all odds, I will succeed. And I tell you, you succeed. If you say Nigeria is messed up, you see that there are no opportunities in Nigeria, you are correct. If you say Nigeria is full of opportunities, you're also correct. Because as we Nigerians are living Nigerians, I'm telling you, foreigners are coming to Nigeria to make resources. But this land is full of opportunities.
In 2 words, describe your personality.
I'm a man of integrity. I'm a man of character. And I'm a strong man.
What is your hobbies and what do you do to unwind?
Well, I like sports. My favorite sport is tennis. I play lawn tennis. Well, these days, because of time, table tennis become easier because I can just walk down in my compound and sit tennis. I can make call and friends around who play tennis. So, but of course, yeah, exercise, becoming the gym, using the gym and jogging, taking a walk, anything exercise. It's my hobby, and of course, I like meeting new things. If I do a particular thing around the road, it gets me bored. I like challenges. I like new things. That's me. So I like to travel, meet new people. Something I have not done before excites me. Something I've not done before, gets me moving. I want to explore. That thing they say is difficult to do. I want to try it. And I got to get it done. And when I get it done, the joy I derive sustains me for years. Not even the money. Of course, I know money will come naturally. What is money? When you are solving problems, money will come. Pure. That's what people don't know. You want money. Yeah. But what value are you adding? What problem are you solving? There are so many problems in the country. There are so many challenges. And that's how Igbo is in Nigeria. Because there are problems, they come with solutions. They provide those solutions and they pack the benefits of solving problems. Solving those problems, and they go. And we are seeing those problems. Oh, problem. No light, no water, this, no road, no light. Okay. So what do I do? How do I tap into this problem of no light? Someone introduced inverter, someone introduced battery, someone starts an IPP, and he's making hell of money. And you are there complaining there is no light. Someone is latching into the gap to do well. That's how Nigeria is for you. So, what solution can you bring to problems? That is your wealth. And that, for me, is my hobby.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.